They are never reported. They have no witnesses, because they happen when someone is completely alone. And when they end, the person is never the same again. This account brings together supposedly real experiences shared by residents of small towns in the countryside of São Paulo, Brazil. Ordinary people, ordinary houses, ordinary nights, until they stop being ordinary. The first case happened in a modest house, far from the town center, surrounded only by a dirt yard and tall trees that blocked almost all streetlight. The woman living there was 42 years old and alone that night. Her husband worked in another city. Her children were staying at their grandmother's house. Around 11 at night, she heard noise coming from the kitchen. It wasn't loud, it wasn't a bang. It sounded like something being slowly dragged across the floor. She assumed it was an animal, maybe a cat, maybe the wind. But then the sound stopped, and moments later, she heard footsteps, bare footsteps. They weren't coming from the kitchen, they were coming from the hallway. She froze on the couch, the television still on, trying to convince herself it was just the house settling, until she noticed something that made her stomach drop. The footsteps stopped, right in front of the bedroom door, and someone was breathing on the other side. Slow, deep breathing, as if something was pressed against the wood. Listening to her every movement, she couldn't stand up. She didn't scream. She didn't turn on the lights. The breathing continued for nearly a full minute. Then it stopped. The next morning, the bedroom door had deep vertical marks on it. Thin, long scratches, as if made by very long fingernails. No windows were open. No doors had been forced. She moved out within a week. Another account came from a university student who lived alone in an old house inherited from his grandparents. He often said the house made too many noises at night, but never took it seriously until that early morning. He woke up to someone whispering his name. The voice was low, too close. It was coming from inside the bedroom. He slowly opened his eyes, thinking he was dreaming, until he realized the bedroom door, which he always locked, was wide open. Then the voice called his name again. It used the exact same tone his mother used when he was a child. He stayed frozen under the blanket, unable to respond. Then the voice changed. It became deeper, slower, impatient. It called his name a third time. After that, he felt something sit on the edge of the bed. The mattress sank. The weight was real. He felt warm breath close to his face, as if something was leaning over him, watching in the dark. When he finally found the courage to scream and turn on the light, there was no one there. But on the floor, there were footprints covered in dirt, leading from the door to the side of the bed, and they stopped there. The final case is the most disturbing. An elderly woman who lived alone told her family that every single night at exactly 2:17 a.m., someone knocked on her front door. Always 3 knocks. She never opened it. But one night, she decided to look through the peephole. On the other side was someone identical to her. Same height, same face, same tired expression. The thing smiled and whispered, "Open the door. I'm outside." She collapsed backward in shock. When her children arrived the next morning, the house was intact. Except for one detail. The living room mirror was completely covered with handprints, pressed from the inside outward, as if something trapped inside was trying to get out. These people are still alive, but they all say the same thing. Since that night, they never feel alone again. Even in an empty house, even with all the lights on. Because sometimes the worst thing isn't footsteps, voices, or knocking. It's the sudden silence. The feeling that something realized you were awake, and now it's waiting, right there, in the dark.